So let me add two disclaimers right off the bat before I get too deep into this video. The first is that if you have the funds to purchase the parts to an all-metal salmon ladder, then do it, because metal in this case is far superior to wood in terms of durability and shock absorption. Plus, on the actual show of American Ninja Warrior, they construct almost all of their obstacles out of metal. The second disclaimer is that I built this salmon ladder with the intentions of moving it somewhere else within the next few years. So if you plan on putting your own salmon ladder in a permanent area, then I would definitely recommend putting some cement around your posts. With that being said, the raw materials that you're going to need for your salmon ladder include 4 12-foot 4x4s, 1 8-foot 2x6, and 8 8-foot 2x4s. For the width of my ladder, I made the distance between the outside edges of my holes to be 48 inches apart. For the gap between the ladders though, I made them to be about 54 inches away from each other to make it more of a challenge when transferring between the two. Now I chose to dig my holes with a post hole digger, which wasn't that bad except for the occasional rock. Stupid rock! I dug each hole to around 3 feet each, and also dug lateral trenches deep enough for a 2x6 to sit several inches below ground. I then set each post into its respective hole, marking them where the ground intersected the post. I mainly did this because each hole had a slightly different depth, so if I had just measured each post and cut them to my desired length, then their tops would have been uneven when I set them in their respective holes. I then measured 10 feet from the mark I made earlier, grabbed one 2x6, two 2x4s, and then cut them off on the chop saw. Once I had all my pieces cut, I attached my 2x6s to the bottoms of each separate ladder, dropped them into their correct holes, and then connected the two ladders with my 2x4s. For each ladder rung, I set my saw to 30 degrees and then continuously cut my 2x4s until I had 16 separate pieces. When attaching the rungs, I found it easiest to use a level on top of a set board to make sure that they remained even throughout the process. Now the rungs themselves are not strong enough to absorb the explosive impact of the salmon ladder. So to take some weight off of the screws and lag bolts, I made some angled supports out of the last two 2x4s and attached them underneath each rung. The final 2 points that I'd like to make is that if you're planning to make your rungs out of wood, then you'd better make sure that you buy a very lightweight aluminum bar, as I dumbly chose to go with a steel 1.5-inch bar that weighed well over 10 pounds. Not only is a bar this heavy incredibly difficult to use, but it also does a lot of damage to the rungs themselves, causing them to crack and lose their integrity. My last point is that these salmon ladders in their present construction still have a little shake to them. I'm alright with this though, as I'm planning to connect other obstacles to them in the future, which should hopefully give them plenty of added support.